Hi all, since we're not having a synchronous meeting, I wanted to make a quick video for you guys showing you a little bit around Laulima, what you can expect from the lab, going over the syllabus, that kind of thing, and hopefully it'll answer the questions that you do have. But if you have additional questions, please feel free to email me. You can also post them in the forums in that Q&A part. If you post something there and you want me to answer it, I'm going to try my best to check it often, but please, if you want me to answer it, also email me and let me know that you put it under the forum so that I can go and answer it. And if it's a common question for people, it would really help you to put it in the forum. That way other people can see it. But if it's something that's a little bit more private or you think isn't probably as likely a question, then feel free to just email it to me. Okay, so I am going to hopefully share my video with you folks. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to share my screen right now so that you guys can see what I'm going through here. So I'm on YouTube. Let's go to our Laulima site. So hopefully you have some familiarity with Laulima, and this is for section 1. So if you're in section 2, it should look the exact same, maybe with just a few different dates or times on it. So kind of the same thing when you go through here. So when you get to it, you will see my information down here. Again, my name is Kelly. You guys should meet me in lecture. I don't think any of you are not in my lecture, so you guys should get to know me there as well, but just so you can see me and see a little bit about me here. My email is there. We are going to be holding virtual office hours via Zoom, and the Zoom links are under the announcements, which I'll show you here in just a second. So announcements, please do check this pretty frequently. You can see here Zoom meetings, unless we get Zoom bombed, which I've never had happen. Sort of crossing my fingers, also sort of hoping for it. But unless we get Zoom bombed, this will be our Zoom meeting for the whole semester. So the password is here so you can see it. Password is bio. So if you do need to get in on times that I'm there, please just go through and use this unless we specify something else. So if we have any synchronous meetings throughout the semester or for office hours, please do go here. And then let's see. You guys should have just received this email all about lab. And then you can kind of go through the start here. It kind of takes you through what you can kind of expect as well as the syllabus. Please do read through the syllabus. The syllabus is here. And then you have to answer this question about whether you have read the syllabus. Hopefully it's a yes. Submit your answer. That does go into your participation grade. So we'll go over the syllabus a little bit right now. I won't go into it in too much detail. You guys can read. I know that you're super smart. So we'll just go over a little bit. Again, we are a hybrid class right now. I honestly am having a difficult time seeing that we're going to be in person this semester, but I'm going to cross my fingers and hope that our COVID situation gets a lot better, and hopefully I will be able to see all your smiling faces in lab. Online is kind of fun, but for a lab especially, it really is nice to be in person so that you guys can do more in-depth labs and collaborate together. So hopefully we get there. I don't think that we will, but for right now, I'm going to keep it as hybrid just in case that we do get there. Okay. So all of this is kind of the basic stuff. You guys should really know all of it. If you do have any sort of learning challenges or accommodations, please make sure that you talk with the Learning Center for that. The ADA coordinator is Tom. Please make sure that you go to Disability Services and get that taken care of, and they will email me so that I know of any sort of accommodations that you might need. Okay. There's also the Know Y'all Center in case you guys do need help with anything. Okay. So let's get to, we won't go over the learning outcomes. As far as any text or anything for this course, you do not need anything. You will be using Launchpad with our ebook and lecture, and that really coordinates pretty well to lab. But with lab, I will give you everything else that you need. You will always have videos from me if we require some introduction, or you might be using some different software, but all of that will be provided. You won't have to pay for anything in lab. Okay. So each week we're basically going to have a lab assignment. So usually they will be due on the day of your lab by 11:59, or usually it ends up being 11:55 on Laulima, so sorry, that's a little bit off. But by the end of day of your lab, so whether it's Monday or Thursday at 11:55, and that's when it'll be due on Laulima. You submit it through the assignments button on Laulima unless I specify otherwise. So this first week is actually going to be due on Friday night, just to kind of give you guys a little bit more wiggle room in settling into the semester this week. Okay. Attendance. If you miss more than 3 labs, you will not be able to pass this course. And by missing 3 labs, I mean unexcused. And obviously, it's a lot easier to actually get to the labs when they're online, so I'm hoping this won't be an issue. But because we have so little going into the grade of your lab course, it's basically just attendance and participation, which is 10% of your grade, and the other 90% is the lab activities. So if you miss one of the weeks, whether it's in person or online, probably online, then you're going to be missing quite a few points. So please show up. If you have any issues, if something's happening, please let me know as soon as possible. I am more than willing to work with you guys, but I have to know prior to, and I need as much notice as I can possibly get. Okay. Grading criteria, same as lecture, right? An A is an A, 90 and above, B, C, D. I think a minimum passing grade is a D, so please aim for higher. You know, both this and the lecture are difficult classes in that they're biology, and biology isn't necessarily an easy subject, especially if you are not super interested in biology, which I'm thinking might be quite a few of you, but pretend you are. So it is kind of a difficult class, and we do a lot of different things in here. You will have a lot coming at you, so please check Laulima, check Launchpad, check everything pretty frequently. I will do my best to send out emails and announcements whenever there's big changes, but please keep up with the due dates. There are different due dates for everything. Lab is pretty simple in comparison to lecture as far as due dates, because you're basically just going to have a lab due on the day that you would normally have lab. Okay. Late work is not accepted unless you've talked to me previously. That goes the same for lecture. Okay, course outline. So this is very different, and it's going to be changing. Unfortunately, things are changing every single day, so I really appreciate your flexibility. Continue to be flexible. That's awesome. It's great that you guys are doing that, and you're so strong for it, so thank you. I really appreciate it. This will change pretty often, so I wouldn't rely super heavily on this. If we do go back to hybrid, which means that we will be in person, not all of you can fit in the class at one time. So I would have to divide you guys into groups, which I would let you know at that time if we did. Again, I think this is very unlikely, but there's a possibility that we would have you in at different times and or have you switching online and in person. So please keep that in mind, that that's a possibility. I don't think we'll get there. And again, this is the Monday schedule. Thursdays, yours looks fairly similar, a little bit different holidays. But I think I still kind of gave you guys a pretty similar schedule. But use this as a rough guide. We are going to be doing kind of similar things on most of these weeks, but it is going to change, and it's going to be changing, unfortunately, with what we have available, what I can get to you guys in terms of supplies. If I do have you do a home experiment, it's going to be using things that you have at home already. And they're not going to be expensive things. It's going to be like, okay, grab a little bit of peanut butter or almond butter, or, you know, whatever you're eating, that kind of thing. So if I have you ever grab something from home that you're going to be using for an experiment, please, please, please do not go out and buy a whole bunch of new stuff. Don't spend a bunch of money. Don't spend any money probably on any of these things. Don't put yourself in danger in any way. If I request that you go outside to do something, if you don't feel comfortable going outside, do not go outside. Okay, I can't stress that enough. This class is not meant to be dangerous. It's not meant to put your life at risk in any way. So if you feel like anything that I'm asking you to do is doing that, or you're not comfortable with it, especially in these times where we have COVID running pretty crazy on this island, please, please let me know, or do the other option that will be provided in your assignment. Usually if I'm requesting that you go outside or do something, I'll usually have some different version of it in case that's not possible. Okay, so keep that in mind. But yeah, for right now, this is going to change a lot. I wouldn't rely on this too heavily, but it's there. And just kind of an overall what you can expect. Okay, so that's the end of the syllabus. Again, this is the big point here, is that it will be modified, and it will probably be pretty heavily modified. So let's go down to assignments. So this is where you'll probably see your assignment each week. So this is lab 1. It is, again, due this Friday at 11:55, so you have a few extra days to do it. Oh, and it's not showing up like it should. Normally you'll have an attachment here. It should be in your resources as well. Let's see. Yeah, we have lab 1 here. Okay, so this is going to be the assignment that you'll be doing. It also has a PDF associated with it. Both of these are in resources and they will be under assignments as well, so you shouldn't have to toggle back and forth too much. Okay, and then any videos associated with this lab, I am going to do a quick PowerPoint video with audio just so you guys can get a little bit more on the scientific method. It'll be a fairly quick video and it'll be a little bit beyond what you got in lecture. So please do listen to that. You might also see that on exams in lecture just because it's giving you a little bit more, okay? So go through here. I'm gonna open this up here. It's just gonna open as a Word document. Okay, let's open it up. So this is your first assignment. So you're just gonna complete it on the computer and then you're going to resubmit it within that assignments post on Laulima. So going through this, it goes through the scientific method, you're reviewing the scientific method, you have a few different questions, like what's the difference between a hypothesis and a scientific theory? That was an answer in your lecture as well. So some of these questions, if you don't quite know the answer to them, they're probably in your book or in the lecture, okay? In addition to the mini lecture that I will give you for lab as well. The other thing, guys, that you really want to do is please, please, please meet other people in the lab. I know it's hard right now since we're not in person, but there will be times where you're possibly collaborating with other people, and it's really, really important that you guys kind of get to know each other, get each other's phone numbers, your emails, however you want to communicate. Social media, I don't recommend that, but you guys do whatever you want to do. But please do communicate with other people and work with them. You guys can team up on this. It doesn't have to be you doing everything. And you do need to do all the work. You do need to understand it. You guys can't just be copying other people, but you can work together. That's what you would normally be doing in class. So please do it online as well. Okay. So a few questions. There's a few more questions down here that kind of make you use the scientific method. Let's see here. And then we'll get to the very end, which is where you're actually analyzing a scientific paper, okay? So that scientific paper is right here as a PDF, and it's called Precise Plastics Are Invading, oh, I lost it. Invading Larval Fish Nurseries. It's a good paper. It is maybe a little bit confusing or over your head at some points, but that's why we're reading it. We're reading it so that you can learn to analyze scientific research papers, because it is something that is a powerful tool for you, and especially if you're fact checking any media, which you'll hear about in my lecture is super important, right? So there's a PDF version here too if you'd rather click to that. You're going to go through and answer some questions based on the scientific paper that you're reading. And then eventually you're also going to go over and click to this site. See if it goes. Yeah, there we go. And this is just a media article on it. So it's not a scientific paper. And this is actually, this is a question, but this is actually a pretty good media article. I think they did a great job. So you guys can go through, this is kind of more for like a layman. So this is something that's not quite as scientific, although it's still pretty scientific. So you can read through this and kind of compare it, answer the questions. There's also one video here at the top and one video here at the bottom. So please make sure to read the whole article as well as watch those videos. It will probably also help you to answer some of these questions that are on here. Okay, it says create a diagram or cartoon, whatever's easier for you. I know some of you have iPads and you can actually draw on here. If it's a diagram and you're just like, okay, I'm going to start with fish. Oh, it's not letting me edit, hold on. Okay, let's say I'm starting with fish. Oh my gosh. My computer's been working overtime, so it's pretty slow right now. So I'm starting with fish, and then I'm going to go to larval fish nursery, whatever it is, right? You can do a diagram like this, so it doesn't have to be super complicated. You can do it under here. You can draw in arrows or insert them. I'm pretty sure you're able to insert even in Word. You can insert different shapes and stuff. So you can do all of this on your computer. You also can print it out and handwrite it and then rescan it if you would like. Whatever's easier for you, figure it out, do it however you want. If you have questions on how to do that, please feel free to ask me. Also feel free to ask your classmates, okay? So a few more questions on analyzing the scientific paper, and that's it for lab 1. Okay, so lab 1, basically you're going to be doing that assignment, which I'll make sure is linked in the assignment here, due by Friday, Friday night at 11:55 p.m. And then you're gonna also listen to the other lecture that I put up. That's it for lab 1. Okay, and then we'll move on to lab 2. I'll have more of that probably later this week for you guys. Still figuring out a lot of the labs. There is another section of this lab on Friday mornings that is not taught by me, so we're kind of collaborating and trying to figure out the best course for you guys that fits with the lecture and with everything else going on. Okay, I'll stop sharing so you guys can just see me. So for this lab, like I said, I will try to keep it as asynchronous as possible. So I will try to do as many videos as I can where you guys don't have to always be on here at the same time. However, there may be some labs where we need to have a synchronous meeting, which means that you will be expected to be able to log online at our regular class time. So what is that, 2 to 4:50 p.m. Hopefully it wouldn't take the entire time, but it might. That is what the credit hour requirements are, is that it should take you almost 3 hours for each of these labs. So keep that in mind too, that when you do these labs, it should be taking you up to 3 hours. So make sure that, or 2 hours and 50 minutes. So make sure that you schedule that amount of time to be able to do this. Don't wait to do this until 9 p.m. on Friday night. Okay, if something goes wrong, 1, I might not be online to help you right away, and then you're gonna miss the assignment. Or 2, even if I am online and able to help you, you might run out of time anyway. So please do it early. Like I said, most of the time it's going to be due on the day of the lab, and I will try to have it posted probably at least a few days before the actual lab day. So you've got a little bit of time to actually complete the labs, okay? But plan on spending almost 3 hours with them. Okay, I wish you guys were on here so you could ask me questions. But yeah, we will have as asynchronous as possible. If we have a synchronous lab meeting, I will let you know as soon as possible, usually trying to give you at least a week's notice, hopefully more. We might also have times where I have you guys come to campus and pick up like mini kits. So if I'm asking you to do a certain lab that requires, let's say, 2 different pieces of bubble gum and a measuring device, maybe I'll get you those things. I'm hoping we won't have to do that, but we might. It just depends on what we have available and what I can get to you guys. So please also be ready for that. I would try to schedule it around the same time too, but I might have a couple different times that you guys can do pickups for that. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the lab. The lab is a little bit more simple in terms of there's not as much going on and not as much reading. I will make sure I post the videos and keep you guys up to date, but please, please, please check back for updates often. Stay flexible. It is going to be changing probably quite a bit. We will probably be online most of the semester, if not all. So keep all of that in mind when you're going through. If you have any questions over any of this, please feel free to email me or let me know. Sorry, I'm going to share my screen one more time so that you guys can see the YouTube channel. So on YouTube, I do have a channel. Don't worry, nothing personal is on there. Oh, only one video. I thought I had 2 videos on there. Uh-oh. Oh yeah, we do have 2 videos. Okay, so these are the only 2 videos up right now, but I will have more videos. You can subscribe to it if you want, if that's easier for you. I will always link them on our Laulima site, so you're gonna know when there's new videos up anyways. But if it's easier for you to go to YouTube, that's fine. You can go here. I'm not gonna play the video because I don't need to hear myself, but you do have the option for closed captioning right here. It is automatic closed captioning. It does seem to be doing pretty good with listening to me and understanding me, but it might not be 100%. Okay, so if you have any questions on that, always feel free to ask me as well. But that's the YouTube. The videos will be linked under resources as well, and it will open straight up in Laulima. So you can watch it in Laulima, or you can go to YouTube and watch it, whatever is easier. It is the exact same video, both for lab and for lecture. All of the videos that have the same title, they're the same videos. They're just posted in 2 different spots depending on what's easier for you and if you need closed captioning. Okay. Okay, guys, that's all I have for you in terms of everything about lab. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. I'm sure I did. You might see an email from me. But other than that, we'll have a good semester. I'm sorry that everything's so crazy for you right now. I hope that it gets a little bit less crazy. I hope you're all staying well and safe. And please let me know if you have any questions in the meantime. Okay. That's it. Have a good semester, guys.